China has the largest population in the world, with 1.3 billion people. But most of them have never heard the name of Jesus. Jesus himself spoke to such a situation, saying, "They are like sheep without a shepherd." How in the world can we reach this many people for Christ, especially when they live in a country not open to missionaries? By God's design, top thinkers from China have come to us to study at major universities in America. There are over 100,000 Chinese intellectuals currently studying at U.S. and Canadian universities. This, therefore, is a significant and strategic moment in time. Dr. David Aikman, former Beijing bureau chief with Time magazine and author of the book Jesus in Beijing, stated, "I think that reaching out to students from the People's Republic of China in the United States is simply the most strategically important Christian missionary endeavor anywhere in the world."
Hello, my name is Yang Chun. I'm from China and one over 100,000 Chinese students studying in the US. Every year, thousands of Chinese students like me step off a plane to experience a totally new country and culture. It is exciting, frightening, lonely, and often confusing.
As we all know, it is quite a hard time for an international student like me when I just arrived at America, because it's a totally new country for me. I had no idea of how to get to school from the airports, where to stay for nights, and all such things really bothered me.
With only 2 suitcases, I came here all the way alone from China. You can imagine how things are different here from those in my home country, and I did not have a clue how to handle the difference then.
I arrived in America in August. This is the first time I come out of my country and get so far away from my home. Actually, I cried for a long time on the airplane, nervous about being alone in this totally new world.
China Outreach Ministries wants to see these students get a warm and loving welcome from local Christians. They meet new arrivals in the airport, provide temporary housing for the first few days, and befriend students, which makes a powerful impression.
I remember it was around midnight when we arrived there. Angela was greeting us at the door. She warmly welcomed me and showed me my room. It was a nice and comfortable room with a big bed and classic bedding on it. On the nightstand, I found water and cookies Anna prepared for me. After leaving my sweet hometown for 24 hours, I was so glad I was able to live in such a place, just as sweet as my home.
They really helped me a lot during my stay, picking me up from the airport, giving a comfortable home which really alleviated my tension, taking me to their parents' house, taking me to the church, giving me many good advices in looking for an apartment, helping me to get my furniture, and even helped me install them and invited me to their Thanksgiving dinner.
When 1 week hosting experience ended, I still contact with them often. We have a lot of fun in sharing different culture, especially in American and Chinese food. I invited them to have some Chinese dinner in my apartment. In Christmas and Thanksgiving, some Chinese students and me, we celebrate the holidays with them together. There were also many first time eating turkey, first time decorating Christmas trees, first time doing cookies. I feel I'm so lucky to have them as my host family. I wish more and more Chinese students could stay with their family when they came to USA.
2 Corinthians 5:18 says, "God has given us this task of reconciling people to Him. So we are Christ's ambassadors. God is making His appeal through us." This concrete demonstration of the love of Christ can be, and often is, an important first step in a journey to faith.
My experience in hosting has been a rewarding one. We were paired with a delightful young Chinese gal. She was pregnant when she arrived, and this may have added to our desire to be as helpful to her as possible. We took her to concerts, hiking, friendship dinners, and talked about our faith and trust in God. She became involved in the Chinese Christian church on campus. And when the time came for the baby to be born, her husband, mother, and father arrived from China to be with her. She immediately introduced them to her church. They were very open to the gospel and soon had a weekly Bible study in their apartment. There was excitement when she called to tell me that they had all become believers. We were invited to attend their baptism service, which was a thrill.
One Sunday morning, a couple came to our class at church recruiting families to host Chinese students and scholars for an upcoming event. We thought that might be interesting, so we added our name to the list. Soon we had 3 Chinese professors at our home for dinner. It was a unique and rewarding experience. We began to meet with them regularly to practice speaking English and to experience life in Minnesota. As we sought to help them, they were deeply appreciative.
We told these Chinese friends that we would be their American parents. They called Diane Mom and said really very sweet things. When one woman's family came a few months later, their son called us Grandpa and Grandma. They had become family. In addition to fun activities, we also had various discussions about God, Christianity, and the party back in China. We also brought them to Sunday morning church services.
This past fall, we met a grad student in music from Beijing. This was particularly important because Doug is a musician. In the process of preparing and singing for an event, she decided to become a Christian, as her mom had done in China.
Later, we met her mom and dad online in a video conference. Her dad said that we were one big family, as we had cared for his daughter here, so they would do for us when we came to China. That was a real highlight, connecting across the world and sharing our faith together.
As you can see, hosts and other volunteers play a critical role in helping Chinese students adjust to their new lives in America. Even more important, volunteers play a big part in introducing students to Christ. I ought to know, I came to the US as an atheist, but thanks to American friends and the COM, I'm a Christian now. Would you prayerfully consider opening your heart, your home, and your life to one of my Chinese brothers and sisters?